And hello, everybody. This is the No Shots Fired Podcast, episode 57. If you come for Tom Nook, you better come correct. Our topics today are going to be Luigi's Mansion 3, Final Fantasy Tactics, Trials of Mana. We're going to get a shiny Pokemon update, which we've been getting a lot of emails about, so calm down, folks. We've got to come in. Classic D&D update. We're going to have the gaming resolutions. We want to hear yours. We're going to give you ours. And finally, we're going to finish with your questions. For Doc and Val, I'm not Chunk.
Hey, little Easter egg for everybody.
That's
Whee!
a little episode. Oh man, my compatriots.
I like that you had to look on the stream to figure out what your name was. That's the kind of commitment we have here at No Shots Fired.
Maybe I've always been Junk Blade. Maybe I never was Alan.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Which, speaking of fever dreams and whether or not anything is real, Luigi's Mansion really delves into the psychology in this third installment of the deeply troubling psychological portrait of Luigi's mental health.
Indeed.
Let's suck some ghosts. I believe that's going to be Doc playing that one.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. Nintendo Switch exclusive. Of course. But let's see, Luigi's Mansion, let's see, the first one was a GameCube launch title. They made another one for the 3DS, and now this is the third one. I played the first one for a little bit, second one for a little bit, and now I have played the third one for some amount of time, and I intend to continue playing. How
would you compare the amount of time you currently played the third one? Would you characterize that as a little bit, or have we moved into?
I'm approaching several hours probably. Okay. So I'm really enjoying it so far. Looks fantastic. I say sometimes when Nintendo puts that little spit shine on a game, it tickles my fancy.
Oh yeah, they've got their own veneer that they add.
And let's see, so like the lighting effects are very well done. You're in a haunted hotel now.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now, how did we get to said haunted hotel?
We were
ended up in a haunted place.
Well, we were invited mysteriously.
Okay.
And we said, well, what could possibly go wrong? It's fine. And and then we got there and it looked great. Like, everyone looks nice. Now, the bellhops did have creepy masks, clearly covering ghost faces, which was very good.
Did Luigi comment on that?
Oh, absolutely not. He had no idea. But then he falls asleep, he wakes up, and it's spooky. And all of his compatriots have been turned into paintings.
As has happened in every other Luigi's.
Yeah. So and then he
journeyed with him.
Mario, Peach, couple of Toads, the usual crew.
The usual suspects.
Yoshi, smart enough to stay behind on Dinosaur Island.
Yoshi,
now if you haven't played,
historically does not like ghosts.
That's true.
As we know from Super Mario World.
That's true.
You would never go into the booze castles.
That's right. Deep lore dive right here, everybody. So maybe they should have brought Yoshi as a canary in the coal mine sort of figure to deal with that. But so like the previous games, you worked in tandem with Dr. Egad, a delightful little fellow. You
developed the sucking machine.
Yes, the Poltergust, I believe.
Ooh, that's good.
You find his latest model in a car in the parking garage, the G00. Then you find a painting of him. You free him from that prison.
Oh no!
He pops a lab out of his pocket, and we're off ghost hunting. We're back at it again.
Okay.
There's so like the puzzle. You're moving around, puzzle solving, fighting ghosts. It's the typical Luigi's Mansion formula. One added thing that that got me very interested in, people said that it was very well implemented, was Gooigi. That's a Luigi made of goo that you that you ploop out of your poltergust.
Okay.
Your consciousness funnels into him, and you
this
can
is disturbing on a number of
so
levels.
so he can like do everything Luigi can do except go in water. Can't go in water. But so that helps you like, you know, you can activate switches that way and like, you know, go back and forth kind of thing. But also apparently it's like a very good co-op mode, so like someone else can play as Luigi.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and like each floor of the hotel is a different kind of theme thing. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to kind of going through that kind of. It's one of the the levels don't seem to be super huge, so it's something you can kind of go through a little at a time. So
Okay.
I got 3 games for Christmas. That was one. The other 2 were probably huge mistakes in that they were Fire Emblem Three Houses and Dragon Quest XI, which I think are a combined 4,000 hours of game time
Oh my gosh.
Probably.
that I've set myself up for. So I looked at those and said, oh god, I can't even figure out which one to start first. Let's go rock some ghosts. Let's do it.
Well, I do like when you feel like you can have a nice, complete, self-contained adventure within a game.
Yeah.
When they make nice little palatable game bites.
Yeah, a little puzzle solving, a little cleaning up. It's good stuff.
Are these rather complex puzzles?
Early on, no. I will say I'm so like each you're trying to get like buttons for the elevator. I think there's like 16 total or something. I've gotten maybe 3 or 4. So I'm on my way to like the next main kind of level, I think. So
Why don't the ghosts put Luigi into a painting?
they tried. He fell down a garbage chute, and they said, good enough. He's very scared. So
They've done this. Did they not hear about the other 2 times that this has been attempted?
they did. In fact, it's King Boo again, who has been freed from Dr. Egad's prison, and he said, "Oh, I've got a better plan this time. I'm going to do the same thing, but
basically, like the exact same, like almost
but
literally.
we'll be in high definition now." So
excellent. Well, that sounds like so. Give me your rating so far.
I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it Goku halfway down Snake Way out of Vegeta also doing something on Snake Way, I'm
Wow.
sure. So,
Impressive.
yeah.
Really sounds like they really knocked this one out of the park.
Yep, nailed
Speaking
it. Nailed it so far.
Knocking things out of the park, Final Fantasy Tactics, just as good as it ever was. Square, 1997. Boy, what a year. 23 years later, still holds up.
Oh my god, no.
23 years later, still crushing it. For this latest playthrough, okay, so for the uninitiated, Final Fantasy Tactics is a Final Fantasy game, but in a squad-based, tactical, turn-based format. A lot of bases in that sentence, but I think they all apply. And you got your little classes, you can be dragoons or priests or wizards, so a ton of customization options, item options, just all sorts of great like ways you can play through the game. For this most recent playthrough, played with some of the cousins in Indianapolis, and we, because we played through this game so many times, we make up arbitrary rules to make the game more difficult. For instance, to use any of the actual main characters in the game, any of the named characters, it's extremely easy to beat. So you're never allowed to use the main characters. You got to use the scrubs, the nameable scrubs, which is great. Who can die? So there's naming permadeath, which is really all you need in a great game. For this most recent playthrough, we made it so that if everybody on the roster had to be the same class, so you couldn't have any squad customization. Everybody had to be, for instance, a squire or a thief or a warrior, whatever it be.
All right.
Which was only actually difficult in the initial stages when everybody is the base class, which is the squire, and then the thief class, which is also pretty weak. But as soon as we got to like some of the better classes in the game, it also got pretty easy. So I started doing a new thing that I had kind of found out about when I was just reading about how to do the classes online. So normally when you're destroying the other team, you're taking them out by, hitting them or doing magic or taking out their HP. But what you can do, there are only 2 variable unit characteristics in the game. One of them is Brave, and one of them is Faith. Brave affects your physical damage and your defense. Faith affects your magic damage, your magic defense. If you are able to somehow lower a character's Brave beneath 10, and this is on a scale of 1 to 100, most characters are between 40 and 70. But if you can lower their Brave beneath 10, they refuse to fight. They actually turn into a little chicken and try to run away for the rest of the battle. So I made a class there's a group called the Mediator, who is mostly worthless, but they do have abilities that target Brave. And so what you can do is you can have this Mediator class that runs around intimidating other people and lowering their Brave, and then eventually you're just fighting a bunch of chickens who are trying to run away from you. So that was a fun
The class is called Mediator?
It's called Mediator, yeah.
I don't think I'd heard of that one.
Yeah, well, it's not a...
I don't know why I wouldn't have heard of it. That's a...
It's not a... Right. The Mediator has the talk skill. You can do things like... Well, also what you can do is once they're all chickens, the Mediator can actually has what's called the invite skill, or entice in Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions.
Classic hen-wolf situation here.
You can invite them to your team. It has usually a low success rate, like 20-ish%. But if they can't attack you or do anything, you can just sit there and keep inviting them over and over until eventually the entire other squad has joined your team.
And then you eat them because they're chickens?
Well, you recover from that.
Oh. Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
You turn someone into a chicken. Mm-hmm. What is the ethical area that we're talking about? If, let's say it wasn't on purpose, but they happen to die in the chicken state. Do they stay as a chicken?
They stay as a chicken dead body, yes.
Okay, now if, let's say you're up in the mountains and things are dire here, you consume that chicken. Are you a cannibal?
Yes. I would have to say that I'm not sure about you being a cannibal, but I would say that I would want to keep them in their human form because that's a lot more meat. I feel like to avoid the cannibal dilemma, you're sacrificing a lot of good.
I don't know. I can cook a chicken. I don't know what I'm doing with people.
Well, I'm gonna let somebody else handle. I mean, that's the
okay. You want someone on the crew who's like, yeah, I got this. I know what to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I think every crew has that person who's gonna step up and cook a person.
Okay.
And I just don't think any of us are that person, but Gary comes along to the mountains.
Not that person.
We see how that was done, then we kill Gary because that's freaky that he knew how to do it beforehand, right?
Gary and Steve.
We're all together on that, right, guys?
There's Gary on this expedition. There's the three of us. There's Gary, there's Steve, and there's Steve too.
Okay.
And then
Okay, a lot to think about.
I assume, once we've eaten the three of them, we find a way off the mountain, kind of situation.
That's usually how it goes. Like, as soon as you take your first bite, the helicopter blades come, and you're like, oh god, what have we done? We could have just held on a little bit longer. But then you're like, what? Humanity's a scourge and a monster. And
what I've always assumed is that by eating the person, it sends out some sort of signal, like there's...
should have done it earlier, then.
Yeah, you always want to eat people as quickly as possible. That's how you make the rescue people show up.
You could have saved Karen and Tim's marriage had you done it earlier. The mountain is unforgiving, everybody.
The mountain is unforgiving, and you resort to cannibalism. It's not even a resort. You go to it as quickly. You might have food left, but if you're trapped, food runs out.
Yeah, if you want to get rescued,
Yeah.
See, now James Bond figured out that all he had to do was seduce a woman to get rescued at the end of those movies.
That's true.
Wonder if we put him on the... What happens if you put him on the mountain?
Well, so far we haven't mentioned any women in this crew, which is...
Well, I mean, I don't know how picky James Bond is or what his
if
predilections are. Okay, here we go.
He seduces Gary.
Is there like a large parachute that they can say equip and then hide under?
And then the team of Navy SEALs
there you go.
Pops up, and they've been sitting around him the whole time. It's hilarious.
They say, James,
nobody's
out here. So-and-so.
James, you old so-and-so. Trying to...
Did you... So how far did you guys get in Final Fantasy Tactics?
We beat it. We beat it.
Oh, you beat
It's
it.
not
Okay.
Yeah.
Successful run then.
Oh well, like another thing we were doing, and we usually do, is minimize the random battles. So a lot of times, you're going to be like seriously under leveled at the end of the game, but that doesn't usually matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, we just kind of like rushed straight through the main levels. Got it done. Did it. Did it right. Did it cool. Did it all that. Yeah. Trials of Mana.
So this was a little bit of a misadventure because it said on the back that 1 to 3 players can play. So we tried starting it up a few times to get to the point where, 3 players could actually play. Plus, we had no idea which characters would be good. The first one we started with, literally one of the most annoying characters that I've ever met in any video game, and I am really glad they did not have voice acting at this period of time, because it would have made things just even worse.
They had the when the character talked, they had it. All of the words were spelled phonetically, and the character was doing like baby talk. It was
Oh no! Yeah, you got to
really bad.
W's replacing R's and L's and stuff like that. And the catch with this game is that no matter which 3 characters out of the 6 that are available you pick at the start, you will meet every single one at some point in the game. So even if you really don't like that one character, which we did not,
avoid him.
We will eventually meet her. But she does not stick around if you do not actually choose her as one of your characters. So at least there is that.
Okay.
This game has its good points and its bad points, and the one thing that I would say is sort of a bad point is what some other people may qualify as a good point. It's from the Super Nintendo era, so it has the setup of, we're not really telling you what you need to do next to progress the plot in any way. You kind of just have to happen into it.
Yeah.
Which can get very frustrating at times.
Yes.
So, like, at one point at the very beginning of the game, I was like, okay, nothing I do is actually progressing the plot. Maybe if I go sleep at the inn. That is, in fact, exactly what I was supposed to do.
Oh, my goodness.
But there was nothing...
There was not like everyone in town was going, aren't you tired? You should take a load off.
There's, like, one character who says a fairy shows up at night.
Oh, okay.
Out of, like, 10 people you can talk to in the town who all say other various random things. So there's no indication that what they're saying is especially important in any way.
Gotcha. That would be frustrating.
Yeah, so that part is a little bit frustrating. I actually find the combat very fun to do, and they have save points spread out in a good manner, so it's not too long between them, and you don't have to play for like 3 hours to get to the next one. And if you don't, or if you die, you have to redo like 2 hours of gameplay. So that is also nice. The characters I have chosen are...
Oh. What a cliffhanger. Cutting out right when Junkblade was about to list his 3 characters. I can tell you that one of the characters is a sorcerer girl, the heir to a kingdom, but her mother's been consorting with this red wizard, who, yeah, right. And within the first, I don't know, time is a variable entity in a game like this, but within, maybe an hour of being introduced to this girl sorcerer, her mom makes the decision, queen makes the decision that she needs to sacrifice her daughter for a ritual spell to save the kingdom. So
Classic story. I've seen it 100 times. Oh. Whoop. Got this, not really any tunes going, but that's what I'm pretending is happening. I should change what this says. Alright, a lot of bings and bops and boops and bleeps. I'm gonna try to restart this. Okay. Group. Come on, just... Maybe.
And we're back.
Nailed it.
Boy, that was scary.
Hope everyone did their
I have
brief
no
homework.
idea what happened.
I want you guys to know I did eat Gary, but I feel like that's why we got back so soon.
Okay, that makes sense. So where did I cut out exactly?
You were just about to
three
say
of
which
the-
characters you were.
The three of the
Okay.
6 available characters. You were going to list your 3.
I chose the Amazon, who I just named randomly. The Sorceress, who I named after Valen and I's sister, and then the Warrior, who I named after Valen.
So
And
randomly, Valen and girl's name,
Yes,
which we would cleverly will not reveal on this podcast.
correct. The Warrior has a reasonably Valen-like personality, so I consider that a win.
Can you elaborate on what?
Just
What kind of
kinda
valid
has-
things you've been saying?
I can't recall anything specific because it's been a little bit since I've played, since it has been a bit since we've done a stream.
Classic Valen, blank slate.
But
Could be
he does
saying
have
anything
some-
at any given point in time.
He does have some snarky dialogue every once in a while,
That'll
just
do,
pointing
yep.
out
Mhm.
things that are silly about what's going on.
Such a Chandler, right, guys?
Yeah, that's always been the lovable loser. Oh, really? Am I a Chandler? I'm using sarcasm. That's my defining character trait.
Could I be any more sarcastic?
Could I be? That's good.
Uh,
That's a good one.
But right now, I think I've cleared the second of. I honestly don't know how many plot-specific dungeons, and I'm just looking. Again, getting into that Super Nintendo era thing of I don't exactly know what I'm supposed to do next, and I'm just trying everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, have you not consulted with the internet?
I have not yet.
Game facts.
Are you intentionally not consulting with the internet?
I am intentionally not consulting with the internet.
I respect that.
It's okay to admit you forgot about the internet, Junkblade. We all forget about it at some point.
If it comes down to it, I will end up consulting with GameFAQs or something, but I try to get as far into it as possible on my own terms before I have to.
Especially if you're enjoying the combat. Like, that's
Mhm.
you know. Cool! Well, that's solid.
Quick Michigan basketball update. Michigan is up 3 points with 6:40 left in
Why
the second half.
do you do this to me, Valen?
I would say,
I told you I wished to remain in blissful ignorance.
it just seems like an insurmountable lead.
The veil is shattered.
Well, you know, a big segment of our potential listeners are Michigan fans, so
Maybe. I don't.
lead down to 1.
Cool, thank you. Okay. As
Sorry.
retribution for that, I'm now going to go into great detail
Yeah, why do you think
about shiny Pokemon. Get ready,
why
everybody.
do you think I was doing that update when I was? Because
Pokemon-
shiny Pokemon.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, I am down to... I think I need like 11 or 10 Pokemon to complete the dex. If someone I know could get Pokemon Shield and help a brother out, that'd be alright. And then my desire for an all-shiny team has led me down a dark path.
Oh no! I knew it was going to come to this.
A
But
time-consuming path.
oh god!
But funnily enough, I've gotten 4 so far. None of them on purpose.
Okay.
The one I've been trying to get, I have spent a while on. No luck with
What
that.
are you trying to get?
So I'm trying to get a Rookidee, which is the little bird guy who turns into a steel scythe of death named Corviknight. So that's awesome. So I would like a shiny one of them to sparkle when it comes out of my Pokeball to join my crew. Shiny Flapple, Brass Dragon.
Corviknight looks very cool.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. But no, Shiny Rookidee evades me still, despite over 500 encounters. But
I'm sorry.
Now, I
Yes,
do
sir.
have to ask, how has the sudden appearance of music affected my audio?
it's all right so far.
Okay.
It is not overpowering to this point.
Good, I just wanted some sick beats.
So yeah, the first one I got, Shiny Flapple, which was this.
Okay, we gotta...
You can. I think I can do this.
Yeah, I want to see them. I want to see all the shinies. And I want to hear their names.
So that's Flapple. He's
Yeah,
green.
he's great. He's an
green.
apple dragon.
Yeah. Got him.
Imagine biting into that. Boy.
First encounter went, ha! That's a shiny one, and went, pfft, got it. Followed Shiny Nickit, this adorable little fox guy here, which evolves into Thievul. I don't know if I want to do Thievul yet, because Nickit's much cuter, so that's a tough choice
That's
I have
fair.
to make. Along a similar line, I got a shiny little Yamper here. Little doggy butt. Got a pink one of them guys.
He's adorable. Now, again, names. I need names.
Yamper?
No. I mean, like...
I couldn't improve on Yamper. I'm sorry. I tried.
Okay.
Let's say both Flapple and Yamper were winners. Nickit, I named Marl Fox after the Redwall series.
Sure.
And then I also have a shiny Hell Water Dragon Gyarados.
Nice.
Who is named Gyarados, because, yeah, I can't.
So you're just not...
My
wow.
creativity has limits, okay?
You-
I gave you Marl Fox, alright? Come on.
I need to point something out.
What?
The link you clicked on for the Gyarados is an eBay listing.
Oh, 6
Somebody
IV
is
square
selling
shiny
the
Gyarados. Oh, okay. Now everyone's square shinies. Now in the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, they've added a delightful little detail where when the shiny Pokemon comes out, you can either have squares sparkle around it or stars. Now,
Oh my
Okay.
God.
if your shiny Pokemon was caught in the wild, odds are it's going to be a square shiny. 15 out of 16 shinies, wild encounter
my
squares. Now,
God.
if you're hatching it, this is a hatched shiny, then your stars are your much more common shiny. So you're going to have to dig into this listing a little bit to figure out if that's a rare square or a common square. Now, there's no way to tell the difference in the game at all. But,
Oh,
so yeah,
how do you tell? Why?
well, you just know. You know yourself. Like, I have hatched no shinies. I have not gone into the Masuda method. Now, the Masuda method, Alan, there's Pokemon nurseries dotted throughout the world of Galar, and you can go there. They're like, hey, do you want us to take care of your Pokemon? And you go, yes, and I want you to not interfere if they start doing anything weird. Now, what you gotta do, you get the Pokemon you want shiny, then you get a Ditto from a different country. You need a foreign Ditto, Valen, okay? That's gonna up your shiny chance.
Are we talking
Now-
about real world countries?
Yes, I have a Japanese foreign Ditto ready to go if I ever delve into this dark path.
Okay.
Then
If it sounds like you're already gearing up.
you get I think it's the oval charm from the policeman in the Chichester City Inn. You battle him, you get that charm, which makes eggs happen more frequently. Now you are moving, buddy. You are going. You get those eggs. You put a Pokemon with the ability Flame Body in the front of your party, and the heat from the Flame Body incubates the eggs faster. So you catch them quicker, and then you ride your bike in circles and hatch all the eggs and hope that one of them's shiny.
This is... Boy, Doc.
So anyway, I want my fifth one to be a Corviknight. Sixth one, I'm kind of open to ideas. So if you guys got any preferences, let me know.
I would suggest something, but I will have to wait until later because I think a lot of my favorite Pokemon, unfortunately, their shiny version is the really ugly lime green.
I'm not picky, Junkblade. Although I will say, like, this might be my favorite generation of like the new Pokemon. There's like a lot of really good ones. I've been impressed.
I've got a suggestion.
Okay. Yes.
Can
hit
you
me.
guess what my
Yes.
suggestion
Now you're right. You're right. I have been doing my max raid battles. I've been getting my gigantic ass Pokemon as well found. Don't worry. Okay. We're
right,
still good on that front. I have. So like, you guys remember? You know what I'm talking about with Dynamaxing?
Yes.
They get really big. Now, Gigantamaxing is they do like a special form. So like Corviknight gets these like steel blades rotating around him, and he just does this stuff. It looks cool. And then there's like Alcremie, the little cream puff Pokemon, becomes a huge cake, which is funny.
Okay.
Flapple gets into a giant apple. So that's something. Let's see. Meowth gets super long, which is creepy. What's the one I just got? Lapras has like this thing rotating around its shell. I don't know. Gengar forms like a portal to the void, which is very dark. Have not got one of those. But
Get a shiny Lapras.
shiny Lapras. Boy, that's going to be a tough one, Junkblade. You've really set me on a...
Why is that any more difficult?
So, like, the ones I'm going for right now are ones you can encounter. Like, Rookadies, you go to Route 1, it's just Rookadies all over the place. Counter, encounter, encounter. Lapras, you got, oh, there's one. 20 minutes later, oh, hey, another one. So...
Yeah, I was thinking of the breeding method for Lapras.
Oh, but I haven't done that yet, Junkblade.
That's fair.
Apparently that is too much for... That is crossing.
So
The
far.
line is not crossing.
So
To be
far.
clear, apparently.
We'll see.
The line...
Well,
It's
my other suggestions would have been Kabuto or Scizor, who I don't know whether they're even in this game.
No. No.
Okay.
It's a double no on that one. But the DLC coming out this year, they're introducing 200 Pokemon. So odds are
Jesus.
they could be in there. So
Now, would you say you've talked about this enough?
probably. I crossed the 100-hour mark. I hope everyone's proud of me. Junkblade, I've been trying to hit at you to get Pokemon Shield this entire episode, so I'm just going to say it right now. You could do that and trade me a fucking Goomy, because no one wants to do it. I just need a Goomy, people.
I will send your friend code to some friends of mine who have Pokemon Shield and make sure one of them gets you a Goomy.
Ooh, now we're cooking.
Making moves, people.
Then I need a quick trade back of Sword Dog and Shield Dog to get that one. Okay, we'll go offline on that one, and I yield the rest of my time to the D&D update.
How much time do we actually have left?
We got a lot of time.
23 minutes.
Okay. So...
But we do have to get to gaming resolution.
Yes, I'm not gonna go extremely long. I was just gonna do a somewhat quick update of everything that's going on.
Great.
So this Saturday and last time we met up and played, we're doing the campaign with the Dungeon Master who's very inconsistent about things, which is going to be nice for Doc because that is the campaign with Los Platos Dragoon,
Yes.
the Warforged Luchador, whose finishing move is the People's Elbow.
Who said? Okay, wait. Who says when he does it? It's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment. Whose job is that?
Where's the announcing team?
Yeah,
nobody yet, but I can start doing that.
Okay, well, can you give me
I very much enjoy this character.
Can you give me your Jim Ross impression real quick?
I don't know who that is or what he sounds like. But
back off!
I could go.
They killed him. As God is my witness, he is broken in half.
It's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment.
I'm gonna send you guys some. I'm gonna send you guys some clips after this. Send him to hell.
Yeah, I want to hear.
It's good.
It does sound.
Oh, he's the best.
So some of the problems that existed last time I mentioned this campaign are still there, and I think it's going to take some growing pains before it gets to the point where it's properly fun for everyone. Because the Dungeon Master has a little bit of an attention span problem and tends to just really rush through things.
Well, when you say so, like he doesn't want to even do
there's certain parts where he's reading from a module, and I think twice last session, which was less than 3 hours long, he said, "Oh no, that's stupid, we're not doing that," without elaborating on what was stupid or why we're not doing it.
Sure, kind of breaking that fourth wall a bit.
And the one time I did like a sum up of the campaign, you asked how many sessions it was because it seemed like a lot of stuff going on, and it was 1. And that's kind of the way it still is.
Oh, wow.
We haven't really even had much of a moment to roleplay in character and talk about who our characters are to each other. And I think there's been 2 or 3 sessions now. So that's a little bit frustrating.
Well, is he just one of these DMs that just likes the battles? Just like to be battley dude?
I think so.
Extraneous?
But if it's all that and no chance for our characters to actually roleplay,
right, then you're just playing like
just gonna drop because we would just play a video game at that point.
Right, you just play or a war game of some type.
Yeah, because D&D is more than just the mechanics, and that's the way most of the group likes playing it. So Plan A is for that campaign this Saturday. If that doesn't work out, Plan B, another friend wants to run a 5th edition campaign. I'm not as fond of 5th edition as I am 3.5 and Pathfinder, simply because there are far fewer options in character building, and I like going over options for long periods of time for my characters, whereas in 5th edition it takes me like half an hour to put a character together after looking at literally everything, and I find that not as much fun. Other people don't like that part of 3.5 and Pathfinder and like that part of 5th edition, and that's why it works out better for them than it does for me personally. This is going to be a slightly villainous campaign, according to the Dungeon Master. One player's playing a dwarvish necromancer. Another is playing a very serious human fighter. He's the one who plays the luchador in campaign plan A. And then I'm playing a Warforged Barbarian because it's a little bit out of my general type, and I wanted to just kind of give it a shot, see how it plays, and whether or not I enjoy it. Finally, if that doesn't pan out, because things can happen, I'm going to be starting a new campaign in the future, where the idea is it's a superhero campaign, and the base idea for this is I wanted a setting where the players 99% of the time don't actually have to worry about their characters dying. It's more like 60s, 50s and 60s superhero comics where, sure, you would beat the villain, but they'd be back next week, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something more lighthearted and enjoyable.
Not a bad idea.
And the explanation I came up with this for in the setting is that during this time period, superhumans are very, very rare. So they've kind of all come to an agreement not to deliberately kill each other.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, basically. And again, it is supposed to be a little more lighthearted and not all that serious, so I'm not too concerned about how realistic any part of the setting is.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of has to fit this general mold. Let's come up with a little bit of an explanation and just go from there and just have fun with it.
Okay. Okay.
So far, we're just in the character building stage. One player is making a hero they're calling the Gladius, who is, as you would guess from the name, kind of more built around fighting, and is a bit of a treasure hunter, is his idea.
Oh, like a gladiator.
Yes.
Okay. Cards on the table, I was thinking of Gradius. The shoot 'em up
Perfectly
games. And I was like, okay, it's a ship.
Another player is going to be playing a character they called the Siren, who kind of uses mind control powers to get villains to stop being villainous for that.
Now, who are the villains in this world? Since there's people.
Oh, I was gonna explain. I was gonna go over the heroes first, and then as for the villains, just really have the one character's rival figured out. This campaign is still in the planning phase. I just wanted to mention it real quick. And then other villains will depend on the area of the world. Like, I had a, like, for example, did it cut out again?
Nope.
Okay. In Japan, the villain is an Oni because that's just part of Japanese lore that I like. And the hero may end up being, say, a kitsune, another part of Japanese lore that I like. And
Is that the fox?
yes.
Okay.
Parts of this may not ever even come up in character because the players may have no reason to ever go to Japan, for example. But I'm going to develop things a little bit more as time goes on. Not planning to start this campaign for at least another month, both to allow time for plot development, world development, and because I just want a little bit more of a break before I start running another campaign.
Are you anticipating any of the heroes turning evil?
I am not.
Okay. So you're okay? You think the mind control person's gonna be fine?
I believe they are.
Because mind control... Usually.
We're not getting into a Kilgrave scenario, if
Okay.
you are familiar with Jessica Jones.
Okay, you hope.
Jessica.
I am not going to let it get to that point.
Gotcha.
Well, before it gets to that point, I would say something to the player and say, hey, can we tone it down? This is supposed to be fun.
Gotcha. But what if that's part of the mind control?
How does a mind control character work? And would you do like roll?
Is it just like persuasion checks?
This is a different system called Mutants and Masterminds, and basically they make.
Oh, so are they taking archetypes? Like, are they not creating completely new characters? They're using like Mutants and Masterminds archetypes to base their people on, or like to grow their character.
They can do either. They can make it based off of an archetype, but they also have a system in place for you to build your character completely from scratch if you want to do that. That is what I will be doing for most of the enemies in the game.
Okay. Cool.
But like, there's a mind control power. It targets your enemy's will defense, and if you beat it by enough times, they'll do whatever you ask to a point for a limited period of time.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the other two characters are a villain turned hero named Heartbreaker, whose main attack is like a sonic scream thing.
I'm not trusting most of these heroes so far.
Yeah, we got a former villain, a mind control person. Boy.
And then
Dr. Destructo. But wait a minute. He destroys evil facades. That's where that name comes from. Don't worry, guys. I'm cool.
And I'm Tex Toothy, and I have a giant corporation, and I just want to help out humanity. My
Believable. I love it.
The last hero is Herr Excelsior, played by
like the German HERR.
Yeah, played by the player who plays the Warforged Luchador, and he's made basically so he can just kind of ham things up.
Okay.
He's meant to be like the fun, hammy playboy billionaire archetype.
How is his Werner Herzog impression? Is it good?
I will need to take a look at voice clips of Werner Herzog, but I'm sure he can do a.
There's it's very. That would say he's got some. That guy's fantastic, but yeah.
And that's kind of what we have so far. More on that campaign as it develops, which will hopefully be, like I said, over the course of the next month or so, and not, both the primary dungeon masters for the moment have decided they aren't going to be doing anything this week. I guess I have to pick up the slack.
Okay.
Which may end up happening.
I need Baby Yoda. I'm Werner Herzog, and I require.
You guys need to look up his interview about Pokemon Go.
Okay.
Oh my god, why is he talking about?
Exactly. It's real good.
Alright. Gaming resolutions, we've got like 7 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Doc, you're ready for this, so hit me with the
So this year, I have a few things I'd like to be better at in my gaming life. First one, I would like to beat some old games that are on my list of shame. First one, since I've gone at least halfway through it, I think, is probably Undertale. So I can complete
that one. Yeah.
Number 2, probably Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Kind of like widely considered to be the greatest RPG of all time. Probably should play that to completion.
Mm-hmm.
I need to try the Dark Souls series. I don't know like which one I'll do. I have several of them, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then, let's see, let me check on this list here. It says make Valen play Mass Effect. Okay, that's a good
You
one.
know, that's weird because I thought resolutions were about things we were gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you play Mass Effect. And then I'd like to do some more streaming, I think.
To be fair, we had a good run going last year for
Oh
the
yeah,
most part.
yeah. Like podcast wise, I'd like to just do like an hour of some of these games I just mentioned here. I think that'd be a good way to kind of. And if people want to hop in the Discord, that's a fun way to hang out. But yeah, and also try to get back, if we can, to a little more of that podcast clip we had early to mid-year last year, because that was a good clip.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Junkblade?
If Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered gets delayed one more time, I resolve to find a way to kick the mere concept of Square Enix in the shins.
That was a bummer.
Yeah, it's been delayed twice now, and I'm just so...
Final Fantasy VII got delayed, Cyberpunk got delayed, as the title says, no one wants that smoke from Tom Nook. No one wants it.
I do at least like the reasoning from the company on why Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed, which was basically they didn't want to pull a Bethesda and release a buggy game that people would just be miserable playing.
Well, sure, but like just maybe do a little better.
Yeah, I agree.
Or like you probably knew that a while ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't like all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, what? Oh no, I can't. Oh, I keep falling through the floor, guys. Oh man."
As for gaming resolutions, I am going to finish Code Vein this year. May even play some tonight, may not. I have not decided quite yet. And I'm going to finish one of the other Mass Effects in the series.
Excellent.
So I finished the first one.
You think you're gonna try any more speedrun type thingies?
Probably. I just need to get some things going on in my life first, and
that'll happen.
Then I'll worry about those.
Gotcha.
I resolve not to play any Mass Effect game in the upcoming.
A clash of resolutions here.
I will not be controlled.
All right, I should have kept that one on my hidden list. I'm sorry.
Now, if you resolved to prevent me from playing Mass Effect, boom, that would have been easy.
Dang it! I didn't think about that.
Already be booting it up.
Yep, I mean, one of the greatest games of the last generation. Why would you want to play it? It's fine. Fantastic sci-fi adventure with wonderful music and visuals. A delightful world with a codec full of delightful information about how the guns, they don't have magazines. There's just a block of metal, and it shaves off this atomically small piece of metal and sends it at light speed at your enemies. Yeah.
Now, can you?
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
You can name.
Is there permadeath? You can't. Oh, that's actually a game changer.
And well, you can name your character. I guess you can't name the other
characters in your party. Characters in your party can die for good.
Yeah, there is permadeath.
But I can't have Doc and Junkblade permanently.
You can in your heart, but there's voice acting. So maybe I
can get into the coding.
Okay.
I did go into the Mech Warrior game, Mech Commander, not Mech Warrior, and I found out how to. It's like everybody has a little portrait and a name at the bottom. I found out how to change all of the names that changed into our name. That took like 6 hours. Speaking of which, this upcoming year, I resolved to have you guys re-record all of the Mech Warrior dialogue, so that when somebody's like Raven online, instead it'll be
load the main cannon.
All right.
And with that, we come.
Oh no! Oh, I crap my pants. Oh no!
Yeah, that'd be a good one. All right.
Restart the mission, player. I'm sorry, I can't be in this cockpit anymore.
On that note, I think this wraps up No Shots Fired Podcast episode 57. If you come for Tom Nook, you better come correct. One last question, Doc. Is Tom Nook, or is he not
Is he or not what?
evil?
You know, we'll have to see if that question is answered in Animal Crossing's New Horizons. But Tom Nook is one you best not trifle with. You take a loan from him, you pay back that loan.
Man,
otherwise,
knuckles.
he comes at you, and he comes at you strong.
So for Doc
And Cyberpunk couldn't fucking handle it. They took out that loan. They said, "Yeah, we'll release close to you. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it." And Tom Nook said, "All right, fine." He showed up. They blinked. They fucking blinked. Buggy game my ass. That's Tom Nook's shovel. So far.
So for Doc and Junkblade, I'm Val. It's been a great episode. Thanks for stopping by. Good God. Good.